Hi guys, welcome back to my villa plantation for the Sifu Miloš. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about why we have to practice with 2 sticks, or to say it better, with both arms. I got a little question about it, but first a little bit about my history back then in Germany. I grew up in a very nice family, but simple family circumstances. My parents were factory workers. So my brother and I, we grew up in a very simple but nice neighborhood and with great parents. That means my parents were not able to pay for my university, so I worked as a bouncer in a nightclub. And back then in Germany, it was the the famous that was 3 times in a row elected as the best nightclub in the world. And during that time, I was bouncer there. So each night we had between 5,000 and 7,000 people going through the club. So I've seen a lot of violence, a lot of brutality over there. And the specialty was, in Germany, you're not allowed to carry guns, but you're allowed to carry, or back then you were allowed to carry blades, machetes, knives. So a lot of these bad guys, a lot of lunatics, stupid guys, crazy guys, were having knives, machetes on them. And you can imagine how from time to time situations occurred. So we were prepared too, and me, from my background of the La Tosa Eskrima weapon fighting system, I was always having 2 sticks next to the door. I had knives on me, and so I was able to prepare myself for those kind of movements. But now about the importance to train with both arms. First of all, everything what we do comes from coordination, okay? And you have to understand the way you work with your sticks, with a weapon, okay? It's the same way you should work with your bare hands. Why? When you narrow it down, this comes to coordination. And you see a lot of times, even Filipino martial artists, they favor one side. You see them, they stand like this, okay? So they expose one side, and this is their dominant side, and they always say, okay, I don't want to bring in my weak side. I apologize for the rain, but it is what it is. Okay? Or whenever they strike with their weak side, they try always to switch a little bit because they don't have coordination and even enough power to work with that. I'm going to show you a little practice before you start to move around 2 sticks. What you should do first to equal out the coordination of both body sides. Pick up a stick. That length can be longer, okay? But the width of the arms should be this, the distance of the hands, okay? So then you stand here. Pay attention to my footwork. Again, very, very important. A situation, call it battle or fighting situation, self-defense situation. When it comes, someone uses a knife or a machete. It's a race for your life. So don't be stupid and start like this, or even lower down your stand, or be like you can do something here because you used to use your legs, or you can do a jab or something like this. You're gonna die anyway. You're gonna be cut. You're gonna be destroyed. You will not be able to bring up this arm here in a load, because what do you think is gonna win? A blade or your fist? So don't be stupid. Okay? So pay attention to your footwork. It's a race for your life. So your toes should always face the front. The knees are facing the front, because in physiognomy, the knees are always following the toes. If my toes are showing outwards, this is where my knees are showing. No one is doing that. So you see, very basic physiognomy and physics. The majority of martial artists, weapon fighting martial artists too, are not realizing, not mentioning. And this is why you see they do movements. They want to have quick, what kind of ever weird movements, but they never be able to bring in both sides equally and to fight with both sides equally when you have a weapon. So the practice goes like this. Pay attention to your stance. Pick up your stick. If you're right dominated hand, then you start to do a punch with the right hand. So this side, you emphasize here the punch, but this side follows immediately. So you don't do this because you turn away from the target. And again, you make the mistake to have this twisting body movement. because the biggest power you have is when your legs are moving forward and your hip is pushing forward. Okay, this rotation here, even when I go forward, guys, this stops here because when I rotate here, the only extension goes through my arm, but you see what happens here. So to come back again even quick, I have to do the whole body rotation. Okay, it's a waste of time. We're talking about weapons. Bringing in quick, something that might kill you right away. Don't be stupid. So you're gonna practice a punch with your right arm, but the left arm follows, bam, like this. And again, boom, like this. And again, and again. And then you switch. So the emphasis goes on this arm. I punch here, but you see, this arm follows, this arm follows. And this is a practice to equal out in the nervous system, in your spine, the movements that you stop to rotate or even overcommit your movement. Because you have to launch to bring the power into your opponent and not on a surface. Yes, of course, when you hit him on the side, you're going to turn him, you're going to knock out him. But we're not talking just about fist fighting. It's about using a weapon. So the other thing is, when I've practiced in the traditional way, the majority do. What I see a lot of times, they do this, and they tell you it is good to lift your heel and to even twist, to do something like pum, and then to come back here, and then to come back here, and then to come back here, and even have this. But you see, my sticks are always what? Shifting, shivering, you see? I don't understand. This sounds hard, but if it should be a blade, you will not be able to cut anything. So make sure that you're not doing something like this. You see, a blade always needs a precise, proper target. So when you practice here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you see, this is how you start to move here. I'm not twisting around like this. Again, here, 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 here. You see, I take my time to bring everything in on the right point. Why? We always start slowly to have a proper coordination. And then from here I can do pam, 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 pam. And you see, my sticks are ready and not exposed anywhere else, but only to the target. I had a couple of real knife fights in my life, and I was sometimes even outnumbered. The only thing what helps in the situation are things that are executed or applied quickly, viciously, and your mindset should always be that you want to damage, not to protect yourself. That's way different. You are more afraid that you can be angry, but your mindset should be stone cold. I'm gonna damage you first, because I go home to my mom, I don't care where you go, okay? And the only thing what helps you to bring up that mindset is when you practice and you see and you realize that your weapon goes the right way, okay? If I practice, maybe my machete, I'm sloppy because I want to have it quick. Even if you hurt someone with this movement, it's maybe a coincidentally injury he's going to face. But what is important? You want to be cutting him here. Cutting, 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 cutting. You see? And it can happen. And I faced those situations. Those guys had not one, 2 or 3 of them, machetes. Okay? And then you hear from a lot of guys who are professionally doing things, oh, you have to hide your weapon, don't expose it. No, you don't hide the weapon, you show them. You show them what they're gonna get if they attack you. And now imagine one thing. Maybe I do my first strike because I'm be the first one. I do this, and I maybe overcommit. And before I can come back, you see, everything is exposed. And what do you think this guy or these 2 guys are gonna do? They're gonna wait, be intimidated, because someone who's going to attack you with blades, Okay, and I have this experience for a lot of years in my life. Someone who is using that, he is not using that for the first time. So they know what's going to happen. And this is why they want to launch in. They want to bring their weapon, their blade, as soon as they can into your body to make you bleed, to harm you. So whenever you overcommit here, you expose yourself. You're not even able, if you have a second knife, and this is what I always did. I had a longer knife and I had a shorter knife on me, okay? So you see, pam, and this can come in. What do you think, is this gonna work? Or I shift here and this gonna work? Of course not. You go in and you see I'm always here. I can come forward, I can come forward, I can come forward. Both sides I can bring equally into the target. And it doesn't matter where you hit this person. Do constantly or continuously between 3 and more hits, and this person is gonna back down anyway because it's a blade. If you only practice with a stick and try the sticks to move fast around or in front of your body to whatever you think, intimidate or entertain someone in front of the camera, then it's on you. But I can see this, who's been in in blade fights, who's been even in combat, okay? The things you do with your mindset, I see it, is working or not. So don't be stupid. The other thing is, it may happen that you have a kubotan. But always remember, if you practice Filipino martial arts, a weapon-based system, you should constantly, on daily basis, wear a blade to get used to the touch of the blade. Okay, same thing. It doesn't matter if you're righty, put your kubotan in this hand. Okay, this is not a kubotan, but it can be used as a kubotan, and your blade in your non-dominant hand. Okay, or the other way around. It doesn't matter. But what I like to do when I have a kubotan, to bring the kubotan in my dominant hand and the back up, the more vicious weapon into my non-dominant. Why? Because I can strike quick and bring this in as a finisher, okay? And always to the highest extreme. Because I practice that both arms equally can get out quick without overcommitting and giving you an outside target, which is very hard for me to defend. And I'm used to hit with both arms very, very hard. So whatever comes in here quick is a follow up here quick. And you see, either it's a stabbing, a cutting movement, or a hitting movement. I can execute it quickly. And you see I'm always ready, boom, to close the distance. And you see my legs. It doesn't matter how much I switch. Point work. You see, I'm always stable and able to do what? To move back and forth, to adjust. Because of the Wing Chun, I have double knife swords. The famous double knife swords of the Wing Chun system. But I can already, so to say, misuse them for scream purposes. So this is a good occasion to show you. I don't have to do now the Ba Chan Dao, what I do here in Wing Chun. I can show you, you see, both of my blades are constantly going into the target and not doing. You can move this here quicker, but you're not moving anything into the target. You're not even striking it properly because you just want to look quick. You just want to appear hero. You're not a hero. The guy who survives and is capable of doing everything in any situation or all circumstances is not a hero. As a contender and a person you would never like to face in your life. So, with that, I hope I was able to explain to you why it is important to practice both sides equally with precision and dedication. Sifu Miloš, my BLM plantation, Florida. Experience the best.